Your silhouette, man, you wanna light a cigarette? My name Kanye from the Jigger said, Twister said, get it wet. Oh girl, your breath is harsh.
Oh, Jonas. Jonas might be the biggest dinosaur on you now. He might be the biggest diet dinosaur on you now. Oh, shit.
Smoothie shit out of their ass. People that don't use toilet paper, like Jonas. No shade to Jonas. You got people that literally get up off the toilet and they're literally just side smoothie shit out of their ass. Who are decidedly on the vegan end of the spectrum ought to commend all they're doing to minimize their consumption of animal products. I agree with that. Rest assured that the meat industry is led for the new vision of veganism. This, of course, makes sense as an end of the spectrum ought to doing to minimize their. Rest assured that the meat industry is led for the new vision of veganism. Good health for you and Andrew's sake. Absolutely, yeah, definitely. My dad's probably scared to die. He's probably like, hey, I'm gonna if I die tomorrow, you know, my two sons, what are they gonna do? They can't take care of themselves.
So, yeah, like
to open up that cocksucker. Until then, I will invite you over here myself, and you can open up your mouth. But until then, stop spamming the chat, please, with your horse shit. Continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks. So,
and end world hunger. These people gotta go. The ideology has to go. The lie has to go. Okay? If you want to do something about world hunger, then stop fucking talking about animals and your plant-based vegan diet and your raw.
Okay? It's not everybody's fault. Okay? I'm not saying it's everybody's fault. I would say Freely's at fault for a lot of this. I'd say people like Fully Raw Casino are at fault for a lot of this. I'd say people like Bite Size Vegan and Gary Urufsky. Even till this day, Bite Size Vegan chooses to associate with a true racist like Gary Urufsky. People like to call me a racist all the time. But Gary Urufsky has made some really racist statements. Even my boy, Klaus from Plant Based News, chooses to associate with shady characters like the Vegan Revolution. If you have to wear a fucking mask, okay, there's another guy on the scene too that wears a mask. What's with all these fucking UK vegans wearing a mask? Like, what is it just they're fucking ugly? Do they have Habsburg's jaws? Do they have rotten teeth? Rotten British UK teeth? Like, what the fuck is going on? Why are you wearing a mask? But if you have to wear a mask to get online and talk about veganism, there's just something not right about that. Something not right about that. You know? I know British people don't brush their teeth as much as Americans do. Some of you do, but some of you don't. You all know who you are. But I don't know if it's rotten teeth or, Habsburg, unnatural vegan jaws. Why are they wearing masks? I don't get it. Are they a part of ISIS? Like, what's going on here? Even my boy, Klaus from Plant Based News, still to this day associates with some of the shadiest characters on the vegan social media scene. And so we have a lot that we need to work on. We have a lot that we need to talk about. We do. What about the vasectomy vegans that don't even bother to adopt? They don't bother to adopt. They don't bother to talk about, orphans throughout the world. They don't do any of that shit. They just want to sit there with, the Blue Wren is right when he says that a lot of vegans, not all, but a lot of vegans, okay, they use the platform of veganism to look down on their fellow man. A lot of vegans use it as a tool to verify their own existence, to verify their own morality, to put themselves up above the rest of civilization, because in truth they're complete outcasts, and myself included. Okay, I don't want people thinking I'm pointing the finger. I'm kind of an outcast of society in a lot of ways.
I sell meat ads too.
You know what I'm saying? Drug addict, jailbird, convicted felon.
Meat eater.
You know what I'm saying?
Cheese eater.
So, personal choice of the vasectomy, I 100% agree with you. But vasectomies and veganism have nothing to do with each other. And promoting vasectomies using the platform of veganism is to be denounced. Believe me when I say I will denounce anybody that's promoting vasectomies alongside with veganism, or even trying to use the platform of veganism or the platform that they've built within veganism to promote vasectomies. I will denounce that shit. I will call it out. I will expose it for what it is. Veganism attracts a lot of people with control issues. Perfect platform. Oh, exactly. And that's another thing we got to talk about. The fucking eating disorder epidemic. Even this new chick I saw, Natalia Taylor, right? Former anorexic, you know. I mean, it's becoming cliche now. And former anorexic vegans. I mean, the shit is too corny now. I swear to God, the shit is getting corny now. You know, but every single, like, Mango Mary, tell me you've never had an eating disorder. Please. Somebody help me out here. It seems like every time I turn around, there's a vegan social media personality, and you're watching your videos, you're like, oh, that's cool, you watch some more videos, and then you see it. Boom, boom, boom. My battle with anorexia, bulimia, and they got like 3 different mental illnesses. Depression, bulimia, and suicidal thought. Like, these are the people with the biggest platforms that are giving people advice on how to go vegan. You literally have the most mentally ill and sick, deranged females out there, women and men, but a lot of women, that are giving people health advice. You know what I mean? And they themselves are fucking crazy. Like, legit insane. You know, we're not just talking about, like, you know, oh, I just didn't eat for a week. Like, these girls, like, have been in it, you know, and I'm not knocking them for it. I'm really not. I'm not knocking anybody for it. I'm not knocking anybody for it. I'm really not. But, you know, yes, a lot of vegans, there are people with control issues, whether they want to control their diet, control their physique, control their body, control how much food they eat, control how they look, control how they think, how other people think, control how they feel about themselves in the context of the rest of society. Yes, yes, absolutely, you're right about that, Matthew. A lot of people have control issues, and they're attracted to the vegan lifestyle or the platform that is veganism. I don't even, like, I'm uncomfortable even calling it a lifestyle anymore. I like using the term platform. Yeah, 21-year-old vegans that have been vegan for a few months writing ebooks. It's mind-boggling. Oh, Red Roth. I mean, at least somebody else can share the sentiment with me. It's mind-boggling. Absolutely mind-boggling. You know, I mean, really, what can a 22-year-old tell you about life? When I was 22, I mean, I couldn't tell you about life. Thought I could, but I really couldn't. I'm 28, and I still can't really tell you about life. I can tell you about me. I can write a biography. I can write my story. The other thing is, too, you know, a lot of these people, they're uncivilized, uncultured, I think would be the right way to go about it. I mean, you're talking about people that live in cars, people that walk around barefoot,
Yes.
people that don't use toilet paper, like Jonas. It's out there.
Yes.
You know, you got people that literally get up off the toilet after eating all that raw fruits and veggies. I mean, they're literally just spewing liquefied smoothie.
Oh, shit.
People that don't use toilet paper, like Jonas.
Yes, I mean a moment.
Shit dripping down their... Literally, they got a trail of shit dripping from their anal sphincter down to their heel. All right?
Wash not white.
And they're telling you that, you know, they're supposed to be authorities in diet and nutrition. Like, are you for real?
I can watch that.
You got people with no aspirations to go. At least I'm in college, right? At least I'm trying. I don't have a degree, but at least I'm trying. At least I have a high school degree. You got people, vegans out there that don't even have a high school degree. You know what I'm saying? Keep it classy, says Angela. Keep it classy. I'm trying. I'm trying my best. So, this vegan dogma is like a game of telephone, a message corrupted along the way. That's a really good way to describe it, Dr. Nick. Yes, that's a very good way to describe it. It kind of is like a game of telephone. You know, it starts with one person, then somebody else takes it to the next extreme, then somebody else distorts that message and takes it to the next. You see it with Durian Ryder with Dr. McDougall's information. You see it with people following Freely. You see it with people following the raw vegans. The Cuban vegan. Thank you so much for the 50 likes. But what I'm saying, guys, is a lot of these times, these people are outcasts. They're degenerates of society. They're, uncultured people. They're living in tropical islands. They probably don't even own a shirt. You know, they have beards. They can't shave their face. They don't shave their legs. They don't use toilet paper, like we already discussed. They shit in the backyard, on, you know, at the base of their mango tree. Do you even look outside YouTube? I'm talking about YouTube right now, so yes, I do look outside of YouTube, and I think that's another thing we need to focus on, is what can we do in our own backyards.
Shit on trees.
Why are you so focused on YouTube vegans? Because I'm a vegan cheetah, and I run a vegan drama channel. You guys are here for the drama? I mean, what do you want me to talk about?
Yes.
Football? I can't do that. I can't share commentary on football. Do you want me to talk about the, you know, Pizzagate scandal? The Pizzagate scandal is irrelevant to my life. I don't even, like, people keep requesting it. They're like, oh, you can get the views. You can, like, I'm not interested in covering Pizzagate. It's not, I'm just not into it. Do you want me to talk about, I mean, what do you want me to talk about? I mean, you're here for vegan content, right? You're here because I'm Vegan Cheetah and I do vegan drama. So that's, you know, that's why I'm focused on YouTube vegans, or vegan YouTube. I hope that answers your question. Pizzagate, what's that? I don't, it's this conspiracy that Hillary Clinton and some of her associates were covering up a pedophile ring that took place in a pizza shop in Washington. I don't even know if I believe it, but it doesn't have a place on my channel right now. Sebastian says, no, open your eyes and realize there are vegans who are doing much more outside of YouTube. I'm sure there are. No, I'm sure there are, but, I mean, really, how... You know, I hate to sound like Durian Ryder, but you know, if it's somebody that nobody knows who they are, but maybe a handful of like academics, it's, you know, they don't have the most influential voice. But I will say this. You say I'm fixated on YouTube vegans. What about Direct Action Everywhere? Has anybody ever heard of Direct Action Everywhere? One of the most vile vegan organizations. I got to take this off for a minute because it's getting fucking hot. So pardon me for the bare skin. I have to. There's a group called Direct Action Everywhere. They have a YouTube channel, but they're not YouTubers, right? They're a group of nuts. They're literally a group of nuts that go around screaming at people in restaurants and, you know, outside on the street and stuff like that. You know, that's something worthwhile talking about. Absolutely. Vel Vegan.
I repost all the videos and have it in a
agree on
playlist.
something there.
Let's check it
That's
out
really
then.
Cool.
Here it is.
You're raw vegan.
Playlist.
I'm not really into raw vegan, but we agree on that. See, that's cool. I can dig it. I repost all videos and have it in a playlist. Jonas, don't support them. You're really supporting Direct Action Everywhere. Do you really think that's a
I've been to every action.
futuristic vision or approach in 2017? Like, really?
It's diversity of
Really?
tactics.
Really?
Diversity of tactics.
Hey, George has got here. Lynn Mary, what's going on? How are you tonight? How are you? We're just talking about the fundamental differences between kind of like what we're doing over here and what a lot of vegans on YouTube are doing. We're also talking about veganism in 2017 and how to bring it forward. Direct action is whack as fuck. Diversity of tactics. I've been on each action. It's decentralized. I know it's decentralized. It's not one group. It's kind of like a franchise.
It's just, no, it's individuals.
You mess up a meal with talking about the animals they eat, I would lose my appetite and be scared for life. 2017. Being a preachy vegan is whack. Yeah, I agree. You know, I mean, some people are, you know, they're very convicted. Like, they have their beliefs, they know what they want to do, and, like, you know, I can salute them for it. But a lot of people are just off base. They're just off base. We need to bring them on back. We need to reel them on back in. I think we should all open animal sanctuaries to save the planet. You're joking, right? We can talk about animal sanctuaries. You want to talk about animal sanctuaries? Are animal sanctuaries really vegan? Are they really vegan? Is keeping animals just for the sake that you could say, I saved an animal, you know, locked up in a barn or on a farm, for people to come by and stare at and point at and pet. And these are essentially byproducts of the meat and dairy industry. They really don't serve any purpose other than eating and shitting. Like, if we're going to have a real conversation about this, all right? Sure, they're cute. They're absolutely cute. But animals on animal sanctuaries, they're kind of like pets. They don't really serve a purpose other than they eat and shit. Most of the time, they're sterilized. They can't mate. They have no reproductive value. And they have no value to the meat and dairy industry. I have to ask the question, okay? And this is just a question. But I have to ask a question. They're not being used for the meat and dairy industry. Should they be in animal sanctuaries? Should they be kept alive artificially? They were born into this world artificially. They're byproducts of no longer usable commodity of the meat and dairy industry. Should they be kept on animal sanctuaries to live out the rest of their life? And when I say that, it's not because I don't care about animals or the fact that every animal has the right to live. That's not where this is coming from. But in the long run, is that how we save animals? Is that how we abolish the meat and dairy industry? Or does it just make us feel better short term, in the moment? For the economy, for the animals' welfare, is that the best way to go? I'm more in line with what you're saying about that, Chris. Is yes, I think animals or animal sanctuaries should only be used to rehabilitate natural endangered species. I think it's kind of like an iron lung. Like what animal sanctuaries essentially have turned into is like the iron lung of the meat and dairy cows or pigs or chickens that aren't needed anymore. It's like an iron lung. Like a lot of people, like, would you want to keep somebody indefinitely on an iron lung? Is that right? To artificially keep somebody alive, it may seem in the moment the good thing to do. It may seem in the moment something that's going to make you feel better about it. But, at the end of the day, they're on an iron lung. They're artificially being kept alive. So I think we do need to question the legitimacy of animal sanctuaries. You know what I mean? Not saying if you want to open up an animal sanctuary, don't do it. Hey, if that's what you want to do, you do you, boo. But I think that's a worthwhile discussion really having. If they set all the animals free, they would cause havoc and slowly starve to death. Oh, I'm not saying set them free. I'm asking the question, should, animals from the meat and dairy industry that are no longer needed, is it better to keep them on an animal sanctuary, or is it better just to euthanize them? Is it better to put them down? People put pets down all the time because they're too sick, they're too old. People do it all the time. We've put pets down before. You got to think about this kind of thing. Would it be easier just for humanity and for civilization, for society, just to put them down? It's shocking. It's a shocking thing to think about. It really is. And a lot of vegans I don't even think would go there. But the fact that there's 144 of you in here and you haven't left the chat yet means you're willing to at least talk about it. They lived for many years there. I visit one in California. Yeah, but the thing is they shit. They contribute to the greenhouse gases. A lot of times these places are not regulated the way that they should be. The shit ends up in people's drinking water. It's not sanitary. And they're not really living in freedom. And they're not living naturally. They were born out of the natural environment. They were born artificially. And they're living an artificial life. Is that right? Is that right? Animals know when they're going to get euthanized. though. They get scared. Animals, I do believe, get scared. I don't think most animals have the capacity to realize, oh, I'm actually about to have a nail gun in my head and I'm going to die. I don't think most animals can, process all that information. But I do think animals, when they're being, crowded into one area and they're, row by row or one by one, they're led into a dark, crate somewhere. Yeah, of course they get anxious. Of course they get scared. If you got a blade to an animal's throat and you slit its throat, yeah, of course it's like, oh, this probably shouldn't be happening to me right now. Yeah. But, I'm just not convinced that animal sanctuaries are the future of veganism or the future of animal welfare. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's a tricky thing to think about because, like, people want to abolish the meat and dairy industry, right? But then, if we abolish the meat and dairy industry, those animals wouldn't, be born. An argument could be made. Well, those animals are being born. They're being given life, and a lot of times it's a horrible life. But if they ended up in an animal sanctuary, then they could live out the rest of their life. They can't procreate. They can't, do any normal things that animals out in the wild would do. But if you wanted to abolish the meat and dairy industry, it'd mean that those animals aren't being born anymore. So if they're not being born and you're not going to give them the right to live and maybe make it to the animal sanctuary, why keep them in an animal sanctuary? I don't know. What do you guys think? What camera do you use for your stream? It's just my FaceTime camera on my Mac computer. Just my webcam. Those are more graphic than an actual video. Good points, though. You think it's more graphic than an actual video? I'm just bouncing ideas. Animal sanctuary is the friendly prison for anecdotal wins for bite-sized enemy. And that's... I really like that statement. I do like that statement. Blue Ren says, bacon dough. It is. It's like an anecdotal win. It's like a false win. It's like winning a battle but losing an entire war.
Victory for DAPL.
One of the foundation principles of veganism is humans aren't more special than animals, though. It's not our right to dictate others' lives. It's a really, really complex thing to think about. Maybe we need to reinterpret the principles, the foundational principles of veganism. Just be kind to animals, and the details will follow. Good, better, best. Much better than the alternative, especially for an atheist. What? What does my atheism have to do with anything? Y'all got me thinking, Dan, this is not a light topic to join in on. No, it's not a light topic at all, but it's an advanced topic. It's a futuristic topic. It's a conversation that we will be having in 2017. 2017. If everyone went vegan tomorrow, we would have an overpopulated animal existence, but it's a slow phase, so they will phase out. Well, eventually, yes. If we think about the meat and dairy industry as not being abolished, but being reduced, the consumer demand would be reduced, yes, it will slowly phase out. I would even, I think what's more realistic is trying to convince consumers to leave the industrial meat and dairy industry complex and go to local sources, family-owned sources, small farms, local farms, regional farms. If we can convince consumers to leave the meat and dairy industrial complex and get out of that rat race and get their meat and their dairy products from small farms and more what I would say is less detrimental, less harmful sources, not only for the animals but for the environment and human health. I think that's a much more realistic way to go about things. Now, not everybody's going to be willing to do this, but I think a great majority of people would be okay with buying meat that was locally grown, that was, where the animals were on a small family-owned farm. They're not eating meat and dairy products every day anymore. They're eating it maybe once a week, so these local farms can kind of support their local populations. That would be good for the environment because then they're not, these are very, very complex ideas, but it's definitely a decision. It's definitely a discussion that vegans aren't really willing to have on social media for the most part. Some of us are, and that's why we're here. We're going to talk about these kind of things.
No compromise.
You know, we're going to talk about these kind of things. A vegan diet that includes minimal animal products. Are you willing to go there?
Nope.
Are you willing to go there? Because,
That's not a vegan
you
diet.
know, again, if we go to the definition
Vegan
of
isn't a
veganism by
diet.
vegansociety.org,
not a
it says
diet.
to exclude all exploitation of animals within the realm of what's possible and what's practical. It's not possible to abolish the meat and dairy industry. It's just not possible entirely. And it's not practical to even presume that any of us have the power to do that, even collectively. So what about a vegan diet with minimal animal products? Is that possible? I think so. Is it practical? I'd like to think so. I really would. I think more people can commit to a plant-based vegan diet that includes minimal animal products than a plant-based diet that excludes all animal products. That's unreasonable. In our society, in the years, in this decade, in this century, I really think that that's unreasonable to ask for. Jorge says American people as well, classist and self-hatred. Veganism isn't really that practical in today's society. It's not with the way that we're just choosing to interpret the definition. If we reinterpret the definition of veganism, I think it could really energize the base. I really do. And I think it could grow our base. I really do. You know? And I think a lot of people at heart do have vegan principles and vegan morals. You know? If you chose Bite-Sized Vegan, I'll quote Bite-Sized Vegan here, okay? Bite-Sized Vegan gave a speech. She said, if you gave somebody a knife and told them to slit a cow's throat, most people would, be in horror at even the idea that they would have to do something like that. And that's why, we have slaughterhouses that are far away from our dinner tables, end quote. So, I think she has a point there that most people do kind of share our values. Most people respect animals. She uses the word love animals. I think we need to get away from the word animal loving or animal lovers. I mean, do you really love animals? Yeah, I mean, I respect animals. Some of them are even cute. But Bite-Sized Vegan, let's get over the over-emotional feminine mindset here. The feminine, that's another result of the feminization of veganism is, I love the animals. I love animals. So feminine. Like, get over it. I'm gonna be real. I don't love animals. You know what I mean? I really don't. But I respect them. I do. I respect animals. I respect them enough not to advocate to keep them locked up in an animal sanctuary for 20 some odd years. But what's wrong with being feminine? Well, it's imbalanced. What we've seen is the feminization of veganism, okay? Without an equal amount of masculinization. And there's an imbalance within our genre, within our format, within our platform, where you see a lot of, women at the forefront of the movement that, don't really have any experience with anything, promoting really wacky diets. You have men that look like 12-year-old girls, their physiques, their mindset, they're over-emotional. You see people that are just really pushing a feminine agenda within veganism, such as getting a vasectomy, not having children. That's every man's God-given right, if there was a God, which there isn't, but if there was, I will say universal right, if they're able to and they want to have kids. You know what I mean? And so those are just some of the examples of what I mean by the feminization of veganism. That term's actually coined by the Blue Wren here. But that's not feminine. So it's not feminine for a guy to get a vasectomy, ride a bike, weigh 120 pounds at like 6 feet tall, and eat fruit all day, you're really going to sit there, Angela, and tell me that that's not feminine? Really? To me, in my opinion, that's pretty feminine. It's pretty feminine. We need some more like alpha males. We need some more masculinity. We need to bring masculinity, and even on the women's side of things. Women, a lot of women, like Bite Size Vegan, Freely, you know, a lot of these women, they need to get past the emotional feminine mindset and start processing rational thoughts. So, you know, that's what I mean by that. You know, it's not everybody, but it's a great majority. Yeah, we need some more testosterone. John Venus is not a feminine vegan at all. Not at all. You know, he's not over-emotional. He doesn't promote the feminine vegan ideologies. I'm not saying feminization is bad, but the feminization of veganism without equally masculinizing it, you see a bunch of fucking fairies riding their bike with no balls, and they're eating, you know, fruit cups for breakfast. You know, it's that's not futuristic at all. That can only go so far. That's so 2016. It really is. That's so 2016. It really is. So where was I? I'm going to stay on for about another half an hour.
Rose is where you are.
Lipstick if I fucking want to. You know what I mean? I am all man. I'm going to put this back on though, because it is getting cold now. You are incredibly masculine. All this dialogue proves it. Well, thank you, Angela. I'll take that as a compliment. I'm trying to keep it classy for you, though. Save a snail every time Cheetah shows his aesthetics. It's not women's job to tell men how to be men. Exactly. Exactly. It's up to men to put the other guys in check and be like, yo, you're getting too skinny. Or, yo, why are you eating like a bitch? You know, what's up with that? You're going to eat a whole bowl of grapes? What the fuck's wrong with you, bro? Yo, you were on that bike all week. I mean, don't you ever get fucked? Don't you ever want to get fucked? Why are you riding a bike 24/7? You know what I mean? It's up to us as men to kind of put the others in check. And it's up to women to be like, to call out your fellow female vegan YouTubers to be like, you know, I think you're just being a little emotional about this. I think we need to think a little bit more rationally and logically about this. Lord Lee, thank you so much for the 50 likes. Vegan Blondie, thank you for the love. I really appreciate it. How are you? Well, can't people do whatever they want? Sure, they can do whatever they want. I'm doing whatever I want. I'm talking about what I want to talk about. Shallow as fuck. Belle Vegan can insult me if she wants to. Cindy, thank you for the 400 likes. We reached 4,000 likes, guys. We're going to go for 5,000 on this broadcast. I think we can do it. Let's go for 5,000 likes on this broadcast. If every single one of you even just gives it one like at a time, they're free. We could do it. Side note, though, your vlog today was especially awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we really enjoyed filming the dinner. That was a fun vlog to do. We went to the movies. We had some plant-based content in there. 2017 is time for feminism to make Captain KFC a vegan sandwich. Fuck yeah! And suck my dick while you're at it. I'm just kidding. Do you agree the world in general is more masculine, though? I don't. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. The element of water is a very feminine element. You know, think about it. When women, you know, orgasm, it's, you know, or at least that's what you hope for. Sometimes they fake it. But it's supposed to be, you know, when women have babies, it's in an embryonic sac, you know, that's filled with water. If you think about all that, you know, the moon is related to the tides and the oceans. The moon is a, you know, a feminine aspect of our world. So if you think about this, what is it, like 75% of the earth is covered in water? I think most of the world is actually, you know, I think there's a good balance between feminine and masculine. Abstractly, you know, thinking abstractly about this. So no, I don't think the majority of the world is masculine. You know, I think there's balance, I really do. But I think you know, that's why it's important to kind of, you know, really be aware of the feminization of veganism and the social justice warrior movement that's slowly creeping into our platform. Are you going to change your name to Fake Vegan Cheetah?
I'm really a vegan, and I ate cheese last week. It was an accident, but I ate cheese. Day 74, so my channel's finally out of the gutter. Are you really a vegan is my real question. Yes, I'm really a vegan, and I ate cheese last week. It was an accident, but I ate cheese.
Shit! I was like, I miss you guys. I want to see you. So I went live, and we had a really good talk tonight. Where's her vegan been? I don't know. Has she not been live? Have you had anyone else try break in again? No, not since that one time. It was a good broadcast. Thank you, Mango Mary. It was fun disagreeing with you tonight. Good discussion. It was, Angela, yes. Hashtag MGA. How would you say it? MGA? MGA. It's kind of hard to say. MVGA. But Blue Ren, before I end this broadcast, actually, can I guess you, Blue Ren? Before I end this, do you have time to guess or no? I'd rather not just call you out and not bring you up on here. Cheetah, can we be friends again? Belinda, I'll consider it, you know, as long as you're not supporting nut milkers, we should be cool. It's the holidays the most. Gather around the Christmas tree, have a jolly, happy soul. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer's on the roof, and Frosty the snowman is in the yard. I'm a vegan, I'm drinking eggnog, 'cause I am just not perfect. But who the fuck really cares, 'cause I'm fucking vegan, whether you fucking like it or not. Ooh. Cindy, I love you back. Thank you so much for being here and just being a part of all this. Cheetah's scared of Connie. I'm not. Let me get my microphone. All right, go get your microphone. We got to talk, Blue Red. We got to talk. We got to talk about something real quick. Cheegan? Can a mother feed her baby her milk if they're vegan?
No.
Of course. Good night, Mango Mary. We'll see you later. I'm not a nut milker. Where did you get this from? I don't know. Why did I block you? I blocked you for doing something. Enra. What's going on, Enra? How are you? Sent you 100 likes. Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't see it. Thank you for the 100 likes, though. We're almost up to 7,000. I think we might make that. We might trump the 5,000 goal by 2,000 tonight. Yeah, I blocked you too because you were supporting nut milkers. Guys, I'm just fucking with you. If I block you, it's just because you're in timeout. If you ask me to unblock you in another chat or something, I'll do it. Oh my god, I'm so mad at myself for staying up this late. Angela, go to sleep. Go to sleep. I gotta crack my neck. It really feels like it has to pop. Vegan Traveler says Trump. I love Trump. What's wrong with Trump? They finally bought my wings. Anyways, I'll shut up and enjoy the view. I mean the broadcast. I'll give you the view. I'll give you guys the view real quick. I'll give you the view. Now, I don't know what anybody else on social media is doing, but this is what my vegan diet looks like. This is what I look like as a vegan. I don't know what all these other homeboy, feminine, bitch-ass punks riding their bikes are doing, but this is what I look like. This is my vegan diet. So, bring back the masculinity of veganism again. We need to take on the feminization of veganism. Even male physiques, though, have feminine and masculine elements, like the traps, the back. Those are very masculine muscle groups. The chest, the abs, feminine muscle groups. The legs, very, very feminine muscle group. So you gotta have a balance between feminine and masculine. Vegan Traveler says, get over yourself. What the fuck us Ren doing then? I don't know. Is Ren in... Oh. Ren, where are you at? Okay. Let's get Ren on.
Yeah, Ren on.
Actually, button up here. I don't want Ren thinking I'm trying to be feminine on him. Blue Ren.
There? What's going on, Cheetah?
You got the muscle shirt on today?
I was just like trying to.
Look at Ren bringing back the masculinity in veganism.
I've been swimming.
Oh,
I've been swimming so I can fuck all the women.
All right. Swimming in that feminine element of water, right?
Exactly.
So I didn't want to just straight call you out in the chat. I figured we're both men. We've been through our shit. We've had some disagreements. It's my understanding that there's a couple of people, and I think you know who they are, who are very upset with you about some comments you made about single women. That's my That's my understanding of what's going on, Blue Rat. Now, if this is true, I'm sure it might be more complicated in your. That's up just one part of that side of the story I heard. But if that's true, okay, if that's true, the reason. Well, how about this? Can you just tell me real quick what's going on from your point of view, so I have a better understanding before I say anything else?
Okay, what absolutely appalls me is, and it ties back into responsible broadcasting, okay, and it ties back into, how much time people dedicate, to this medium, and, under the guise of veganism. But it's all about creating a social network for them, but they don't do fuck all towards veganism. Now, if you remember back to when Snitch used to bitch about me for fucking 15 to 20 minutes per night, and all too often he would be fighting his kids off and then push his kids out the door, then continue to bitch about me. Now, I thought that was disgraceful. And when I saw, and I don't care about naming names, when I saw Der Vegan and when I saw Penny Shipway push away their children in favour of speaking to fucking strangers and achieving absolutely fuck all, right, I just pointed out, not by name at the time, that I was just a bit tired, of, I said, single mothers at the time, but, basically, parents not prioritising their children, right? Now, Penny Shipway got wind of this, and, all the social justice warrior feminazis got onto it, and then they try and fuel the divide. So, Penny spoke...
So did you make a statement directly at Penny or Der Vegan?
All single mothers in general that broadcast, into the wee hours of the morning and, don't be there 100% for their children. I think it's irresponsible for a mother to be on, you now till 4 a.m. and then, have to get up at 6 or 7 and then look after the kids. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to be there 100% for your children.
But what makes you think they're not committed to their children or 100% there for their children? The truth is, single mothers probably have a much more limited amount of time that they can. They don't have the luxury, the way I do, of broadcasting into the wee hours of the morning with absolutely no responsibility the next morning. If anything, I would make the argument that they might actually be working harder because they are raising kids, and at the same time they're devoting as much time as possible to their broadcast.
No one knows. Look, I'm a single father. Every second weekend, I know more than most. More than 99% of people, more than 99.9% of people in this vegan demimonde, what it takes to look after children, right? And look after them alone. I don't touch social media when I have my children. Now, I know and understand that that's unrealistic for mums, and they do need escapism. But, you've got to do that at the right and appropriate times, and you can't be, broadcasting into the wee hours of the bloody morning, and don't think that kids are so draining. They are so taxing. They are 100% 24/7, and if you're wasting the wee hours of the morning on you now, you're not going to be there mentally for your kids 100%.
Well,
I don't take that back.
okay, there are a couple things I want to say about this, okay? You remember the other night we had a disagreement, with Moo Moo? Okay. I don't know exactly what was said, but some of these women, they want an apology. If there was something that was said that was a little over the line, I would say an apology is probably in order. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but considering the fact that I was willing to apologize for calling your friend a slut, okay, I have to sit here and represent, my constituents and encourage you to. I don't know what was said. I really don't. And if, whatever. But the other thing I wanted to say, Blue Ren, is a lot of our chat are women. There's a lot of vegan women out there in your chat and my chat. We share some of the same viewers, and I'd say a lot of them are mothers, if not single mothers. Do we really want to be picking fights with our constituents?
Well, this is probably the difference between yourself and my channel. I don't give a fuck about them. All I do is speak my truth because I don't have, an income from YouTube. And I'm sick of preaching to the fucking converted within the vegan demimond. I want to start living and be a living and breathing example that people in the mainstream can watch, that middle-aged men can watch, that single fathers can watch, that people coming into their 40s and beyond can watch and say, okay, these are some of the health benefits that a plant-based diet can offer. Perhaps give this shit a try, right? Now, what I will do is, there's some fucking fantastic mothers out there, and I respect women to the point and understand, but just hang on. And I understand women because I've been with a lot of women. Women have a robotic ability to lie, and you should see what fucking women can achieve in the day, right? It is fucking amazing. They can wake up at 5:30 a.m., run on a fucking jogging machine, prepare all the kids' lunches, iron all the shirts, get them off to school, go to work. You've got no idea what women can fucking achieve, right? But what I will fucking speak out against is when women physically push their children away who request time and attention to then go on and fucking talk to strangers and, this is my time, I need a break, blah, blah, blah. If your kids, you've had those kids, that's a decision you've made. So I do apologise to the women out there who are, doing an absolutely fantastic job, right? And
so what were you trying to say, though? Are you saying Dirt Vegan, Penny, some of these other women are not doing a fantastic job?
Not at all. And in my comments that I've made, I've said I'm not giving them any ranking 1 to 10 as to whether they're a good mother or not, right? All I'm doing is calling them out when they push their children away, right? And the other issue is, because I've seen both of them do it, and not only, and this is where they're trying to make it a gender fucking war, the Blue Wren's a fucking misogynist. The first one I called out doing it was a father fucking snitch doing it, right? So, it's a parenting thing. It's just that the last two examples I saw were women, and at the time in the chat, that's what I called them on. And what they want to do is it's like, back in the old days, people want to, fuel the drama. People want to fuel the divide between you and I, because for them it's about, clicks, likes, subscribe, shares, all that bullshit. I couldn't give a fuck. So to the decent mums out there, you've got the likes of Bell Vegan, things like this, they're fucking awesome.
Well, can you sit here and say that you think Dirt Vegan's a decent mom, a good mother?
Oh, that's what I've sort of reiterated probably 5 times before. I'm not giving them a fucking ranking out of 1 or 10. They could be level 10 mum. They could be what I'm giving social commentary on.
But you're not suggesting that Dirt Vegan or Penny Shipway are bad mothers. I guess is the
Nothing whatsoever. I've said it, 5 or 6 times now,
And-
that I'm not giving them a ranking 1 to 10 as a mother. I'm providing social commentary on people who push their children away in favour of fucking staying on a UNOW broadcast. It just,
Which you're free to do. You're
hits.
free to do. And I support freedom of speech, whatever you got to say.
And
but
someone's got a point there.
I don't know. I'm not a father, so I
Someone's got a point and where it comes from is they're called Bequia 86, absent father guilt. And that's exactly what it is. And that's why it's so passionate to me, because I've got this guilt that I'm not with my fucking kids. Then when I see someone wasting an opportunity with theirs, that's
do you
exactly
think some of that guilt, or maybe just the fact that you're a father, does that somehow influence your reaction to when you see, how do you know they didn't appropriately, need some time away from the kids and, in your words, pushing the kids away? Why is that for you to decide if it was appropriate or if it was not, or if that was?
That's never appropriate, but in my viewpoint, but the person whoever had that name, Bequia 86 or whatever.
Let's do this. My mother used to like to talk on the phone a lot, right? My mother would talk on the phone all the time. If I was acting up and trying to get her attention, she'd kind of push me away and be like, I'm on the phone. I grew up, I'm all right. I still love my mom. My mom loved me. She wasn't a bad mom for that. Couldn't we kind of...
My mum was an academic in an office, right? But,
What about a mom that's working 2 jobs? And financially, she has to work 2 jobs, so she's not at home all the time.
And that woman probably wouldn't push away, her children when she gets the opportunity to be with them. It's a commentary that I made on a specific problem that I see within you now.
Okay, that's fair enough. I guess what I'm saying is, I'm not, why don't you focus on that? If you, let's say, like you said, I'm not rating these women, they're all decent mothers, and they're raising their kids, they're doing their thing, why don't we focus on that as opposed to, Der Vegan pushed her kid out of the shot, or, told her kid to go back to, I don't know, and you can share the commentary. I get that much. I share a lot of commentary that people probably don't care to hear. But in context of veganism and, what we say we're about, I'm not convinced there's really, a really legitimate reason to give that kind of commentary a lot of,
Of course there is.
Oxygen.
Because, it comes back to responsible broadcasting. We've spoken about responsible broadcasting, the fact that we should limit perhaps our broadcasts. We break the rules all the time, but, ideally 1 to 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 to 2 hours, it's hard sometimes, and sometimes the guest gets a life of its own. But if you've been on for a long period of time, and then your kids wake up, and then you're pushing them away, and then, it just really does sicken me. When I see people, putting a YouNow broadcast over the calls for attention from their children. And, yes, Der Vegan does it when her kids are asleep, but I've also seen Der Vegan push her kids away and, her kids' requests for attention away. You know what I mean? And I've seen it so repeatedly that I said something, right? And that's what it was, and it's tied to responsible broadcasting, and it stems from my absent father guilt, and that's exactly what it is. What they want to blow this into is another fueling, another divide, another fucking personality politics. I couldn't give a fuck. And you know what's so absolutely ridiculous about this situation is that Penny and I had sorted
Chris, when I want your opinion, I'll ask you to open up that cocksucker. Until then, I will invite you over here myself, and you can open up your mouth. But until then, stop spamming the chat, please, with your horse shit. Continue, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Gold.
But then I'm just sitting in the guest, not sitting in the guest, sitting in the chat, quietly as can be. And then, Vegan saying that she wants to raise it with me as an issue. And I came on and I said, listen, you're not going to like my answer. You're not going to like my opinion. You know what I mean? So are you sure you
A lot
really
of people
want to ask
usually
me this?
don't, Blue Ren.
Exactly. And I said, are you sure you really want to, ask me this question? And, she said yes. And, I told her what my truth is. This is the fucking absolute ridiculousness of this whole demimon, is that we're all supposed to toe, the same fucking line, like that, because you're vegan, you think like this, you do this, you act this way,
Well,
this
what
is
I'm
what
saying
we
is,
need.
like, instead of focusing on the negative behavior, from my perspective, Blue Ren, it would be much more productive if guys like you and me focused on the aspect of responsible broadcasting, acknowledging the fact that we have many supporters that are single women, support them in their motherhood, support them in their, as broadcasters, as personalities, do whatever we can to support growing their social media, without attacking their mothering skills or one act that they did on camera. That just seems like, it seems like we're opening up a can of worms there. You see what I mean?
And also, we've got the situation whereby, like, I wasn't making any personal attack on them. What it was is social commentary about, their behaviour and their broadcast responsibility on you now. I said
understand.
nothing
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, about their abilities as a mother, how good they are, how shit they are. It was just simply, experiencing and watching parents push their kids away when their children are making requests to spend time with them. What this is trying to turn into is personality politics. Oh, the blue wren's fucking this, the blue wren's that. All this virtue signalling, they all fucking come together. You know what I couldn't give a shit about anymore? What people fucking think of me. And it's when people fucking stand up, and they fucking stand up for what they believe in, then people who think like them can, formulate around them. Fucking Renegades 2017. And I'm not here to preach to the converted anymore. Those days are fucking over. I'm heading into
but a
fucking
lot of these
2017.
women are not there's a lot of single moms that are not vegan. They happen to
I'm not
enjoy
here to fucking be an example for single mothers. I can tell you that much for free. That's
well,
where it's for the likes of,
you
Bell
said
Vegan
yourself,
to stand
this
up.
stems from your guilt, from not having your
commentary.
Those are your words.
My commentary stems from my own guilt, right? As an absent father.
The commentary, to some of my supporters, they've directly told me this, that it was greatly offensive. Again, I wasn't there. I don't know what was said. You're telling me what your side, they're telling me their side, but they're saying it was greatly offensive. And,
you can tell he's not happy about him doing it.
Just having this conversation here, I'm not sure. I'm just going to say for myself, okay? I'm not going to focus on... I've got a lot of thoughts about single motherhood and, the different things I could talk about in that way, okay? A lot of times, women end up in fucked up relationships, or the relationship gets fucked up after they have the kids, and then there's another part of me that wonders, like, if a girl has 2-3 kids and they're all by different daddies, it's nothing I would ever date, you know what I'm saying? So it's not that I don't care or ever think about this kind of stuff, but I'm not sure, like, I would ever really talk about that in context of what I'm doing with my platform and the format of vegan drama or veganism, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so...
I'm just worried it's going to cause more problems for, and you say you don't care, like, you're not monetizing your channel, you're not concerned with the views, but Blue Ren, you have to, that's another thing I want to talk to you about. Do you think sometimes... All right, I'm going to tell you what I think, Blue Ren. I think sometimes you put your foot in your mouth. I do.
That's what the Blue
I
Ren
think
does
you're like
best.
a Joe Biden. You know who Joe Biden is?
He's
the vice
one
president.
Of the American.
The vice president, Joe
one
Biden.
Of the American.
Yeah, I think you're kind of like a Joe Biden. You find yourself in these situations where you put your foot in your mouth sometimes, and I think if you focus more on how you can expand your reach, expand the reach of your ideas, maybe you don't care about the growing the personality or, growing the biggest YouTube channel at all, but, you got some really good legitimate ideas. and I'll quote you on it every time I reference something that you say. But, you know, if we're going to expand those ideas and that reach, picking fights with single mothers on you now is not productive at all, Blue Ren. And I'm not saying you were doing that, but by sharing your commentary, you're inviting a hostile situation that I don't think any of us need.
Look, it's part of what fuels the fucking, you know, vegan demimon. You know what I mean? It's fuel on the fire. You know what I mean? It's all part of the fucking entertainment. You know, if we're all fucking good guys, we'd call this fucking religion and church. You know what I mean? This is real life. This is veganism. There are good guys, there's bad guys. No one would read a comic book without villains. I'm one of the fucking villains.
Okay, Vegan Traveler says, Cheetah is trying to walk back his support for Blue Ren last night. Mommy Durr. Okay, a lot of people in the chat are saying I was supporting you when I was liking up your channel and stuff like that. Okay, the reason I was supporting Blue Ren was not for his social commentary on the single motherhood thing. Blue Ren was talking about some real shit that had to do with veganism. He said some shit that was really funny, and I went and bought a castle last night you inspired me to go and buy a castle so I can support some of the broadcasters and stuff like that. So I went, I spent $25, I bought a castle, and I gave Blue Ren probably like 1,000 likes or something like that. I wasn't like, if anybody thinks I was liking up his stream, bull in a china shop, and, you know, look, I'm not offended by anything, but I think there's a lot of people that are really disagreeing with you on this. And I don't agree that it's really like relevant to the vegan drama or the vegan demimon. It's relevant to the drama, but it's not really relevant if you really want to raise yourself up to the status of like leading, you know, vegans in 2017 on YouNow, on YouTube, in the real world. Picking fights with our single mother constituents is a really bad idea. That's something I can't get behind. I can't get behind that.
I'm in no way, shape or form a leader. You know, I'm an ideas man. All I want to do is sow seeds. If, you know, it gains any traction.
Blue Ren, you're one of the most popular broadcasters on here. Your chat easily has 80 to 100 people in here now. So, you know, kind of by default, on YouNow, you have a platform where you could really utilize it as a leadership role.
Well, look, you know, you're the king when it comes to YouNow and, you know, social media and things like that.
I've just been here a long time. Wait till Freely gets over here. She's going to be trending #1 in #vegan over VeganCheetah. There's going to come a time when you know what I mean. My relevancy is coming back a little bit, I would say, but it's ebb and flows. And if you go with the ebb and flow, Blue Ren, and stop putting your foot in your mouth, I think we can get more done and convince more people that you have some good ideas.
Yeah, I think if I was to monetize my channel, then it would be more professionalism, and you'd have to adhere to more, you know, you'd have to probably toe the line somewhat a little bit more, but, you know, then would that, you know, I lose part of my appeal. Sorry?
I said learn from my mistakes. I'm saying this from experience too, like I'm not just calling you, I put my foot in my mouth on a daily basis. It's like a bad I did it with Jesse Moo, and now Jesse Moo has a video on YouTube saying VeganCheetah called me a slut. I mean, it was just locker room talk, but, you know, a lot of people are going to see that video and be like, oh, now I think differently about this guy. He's an asshole. You know what I mean? And, you know, I didn't watch it far enough to see if she mentioned that I apologized or whatever, but I'm just saying, you and me both, we need to focus, we need to get focused, and we need to stop putting our foot in our mouths. I mean,
look, you know, we all make mistakes. Yeah, look, you know, and let me apologise to particularly Penny Shitway and Vegan, and I've said this to them directly. I'm not making any commentary on your ability as a mother. You could be the greatest mother that I've, you know, ever seen, right? Out of my own guilt, I, you know, would love to have some children trying to interrupt my broadcast here. You know what I mean? I only unfortunately get them 3 days out of 14. Yeah. Now, you know, maybe it is time that I started, you know, perhaps maturing and things like that. You know, I need to get a job. You know, this has all been one sort of permanent vacation for me, my lifestyle at the moment. But, you know, if I don't, you know, if I don't learn from my mistakes, you know, I'm not one of these YouTubers that, you know, doesn't learn. You know, I love the criticism. I love the critique. I love the hate comments because it gives me an opportunity to look at myself from a new perspective. So, you know, I see, you know, criticism as being, you know, constructive. And, you know, that's something that I can take away from this conversation. And, you know, maybe I might be, you know, a different YouTuber, you know, tomorrow. But, you know, what we see is you see all the negative comments that we have in the chat. Like, it's just virtue signaling to each other because they're trying to, you know, form a sense of, they're trying to form a network. You know what I mean? Look at this fucking random bike trips, living off the government. His woman left him because he's a misogynist bum with no job. Is this fucking beta male fucking, oh, got a sleeve done fucking cocksucker? You know what I mean? This is a fucking problem between my fucking generation. But hang on.
Be more
but hang on.
These social justice warriors. Diplomacy and social justice warriors are two separate things. We could be more diplomatic without being a bitch ass beta. You know what I mean? We can. I'm working on it every day. I'm not sure what random bike trips issue is with you.
Homo.
But all I can say is, you know, random bike trips, I would consider him one of my constituents, one of my supporters. I support him. You know, I follow his Instagram and stuff like that. I don't know exactly what his personal issue is with you. I'm not sure with anybody's personal issue. I mean, we've had worse personal issues and we've been able to overcome it. You know what I mean? You said some shit. I said some shit. I fucking said some fucked up shit. Like, I don't give a fuck about you or your family. And we were able to kind of overcome that. Yeah. So you know, if we can do that, I think and this is, the rest of us can too.
Of course. And what Australians have different levels of sensibilities, and you know, we're not as sensitive as the American audience.
I understand that, but the two girls, Penny and Durr, are Australian. They should understand the sensibility, and both of them have expressed that they're greatly offended, and they're offended, and they feel betrayed because I haven't addressed it. So I'm in a position where I have to.
Yeah, I understand. I was in the same thing with Moo Moo. So, yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
All right, well, I can accept that. I mean, you apologize if it came off like you were saying they were bad mothers. I mean, I can accept that. I hope that they can accept that. I encourage them to accept that. You know, you and me both. We do. We have to get focused. We need to stop putting our foot in our mouths. I did it tonight with Chris. Like, Chris, you got me. You triggered me, all right? I apologize, Chris, for saying what I said because I was over-carbed. Okay, I just had pasta and garbanzo bean. I've got way too many carbs. I got too much energy, and it came out in the form of explicit content directed towards you. So I apologize, Chris. But you are a nut milker, and you betrayed me several times. So, you know, that's another reason that, you know, I'm a little aggressive there. Well, let's just go with that for now. I have to wrap up this broadcast because we're getting irresponsible here. It's going on 2.5 hours.
All right, cheers, Cheetah.
But I will see you soon, okay?
That's both. I've listened to Random Bike Trips. You're talking about my family. It gives me an indication that, you know, you've got no family of your own. And that's 2 kids, 2 beautiful kids. I've got a fantastic life, live near the beach, you know, great house. You know, I've had a great career. You know, it's time for me to re-enter the workforce and to assess what I want to do with my life. But, you know, once you've achieved all I have, you know, then maybe you'll be a YouTuber or a now like the Blue Wren. But until that time, just keep, you know, plugging away there, champion.
Closing words from the Blue Wren. Fair enough.
All right. Thanks, Cheetah.
All right. Have a good day. We'll see ya.
See you, mate. All right. Good on you.
You know, look, I have all kinds of internal political pressure at all times during the day. You know what I mean? When there's an issue, you know, I do have to be more direct. I have to be more diplomatic. I have to stop putting my foot in my mouth. So I'm not like preaching at Blue Wren or trying to, you know, say that anything I ever say is less, you know, bad than anything he's ever said. And I don't even know. I wasn't there for that conversation. A lot of people think I was supporting Blue Wren for the comments about single mothers. That's not why I was liking up his broadcast last night. I wasn't even aware of it till earlier today. So yeah. Vegan Traveler just trolling me back, huh? I come into your chat and troll you, and we're gonna toss this racket ball back and forth, aren't we? Call yourself Blue Balls, more like it. That's his problem. You know that moment when you're vegan and need to put it in your You Now name. Vegans must tell that they are vegan. Did you just do that? Or Jen, are you thinking about doing that? The book club. Yes, Matthew. Let's talk about the book club, okay? Yes. Let's talk about the book club. So, let me go get the book first that I want to... this is the first... Hold on. Let me go get the book. Hold on. Club. On You Now. All right? And before you guys, say, it's a lame idea. Hear me out. Yes, it is real. Young Graphos. I want to start a book club. All right? What is that on the couch? It's, the drawing somebody sent me. I want to start a book club, all right? The first book that I want to start with is The Healthiest Diet on the Planet. Now, before you all go and buy this book, what I'm going to do is a giveaway. I'm thinking about doing it right around Christmas. We probably won't start till January.
Yeah.
But that's what people are saying, yeah. Before you leave, Charlie, will you go raw for a week for $500? For $500, I would go raw for a week, yeah. Hollywood says bad, Charlie. Next book, FHM Christmas Edition. I don't know what that is. What's FHM? Oh, Vegan Traveler. Make this 7K, full damn. We almost got there tonight, but the goal was 5K. You guys did great. We got over 5K likes on this. Good night, Angela. You just changed your name. Woo woo, Angela. Oh my God, you just changed your name. Talking about the fish. We could do fish till 4. We'll talk about fish till 4 next time. So I love you guys. I really do. I really appreciate the support. Even if you were kind of hating on me or whatever today, I really appreciate the support. Thank you for watching my broadcast. Thank you to all the top fans for really liking the fuck out of the stream. Sydney, Katie, Mango Mary, Angela, and there was more as well. So I really appreciate you all. And big shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Jonas Sunshine. Little Dark Stars, you have a good night too. Hollywood Babylon, Bell Vegan, Dumb Vegan, Vegan Blondie, Brandon. I'll see you all later, okay? Have a good...
Oh, that's it.
Callum, capture a moment. Capture a moment. A moment.
I don't capture a moment. Chocolate.
Callum, capture a moment. Capture a moment. A moment.
I don't capture a moment. Chocolate.
Bruh. I don't like fruit. Bruh. I don't like fruit.